73. Texas independence. This is so exciting. All right, here we go. You better stop me. In 1821, Mexico won its independence from Spain. Stop. What question do you think you should ask, Sean?
When did Mexico get mad at Spain?
Oh, good. When did Mexico get mad at Spain? Not just when. Well, we already know the date. What was the date?
When they claimed their independence.
All right. Okay, so they were mad before then, right? All right, so not just when.
How?
How and why were they mad at Spain? So you know what? We're probably going to have to go look that up. Bonnie, question.
Well, aren't Mexicans Spanish?
Yes, but they're Spanish. Actually, they were also Indian. You had your Mayan Indians. Remember the Mayan calendar? Yeah. So, but Spain had taken over, and so that's where your Spanish influence came in. But now Mexico is a little angry, as Sean said, with Spain. So in 1821, they won its independence from Spain. So we need to find out how they did it and exactly why they did it. All right, I'm going to keep reading. Okay. Mexico took control of much of the Southwest, including Texas. Ooh, let's look at this map here. Much of the Southwest, see if I can draw on this, including Texas. This area here. And of course they took over much of that area as well. All right. Because few people lived in Texas, Mexico wanted more settlers to move there. Mexico's leaders offered land in Texas to encourage settlement. Ooh, what could be possibly in the works here? Should I reread that?
Yes.
Yes, let me reread that. Because few people lived in Texas, Mexico wanted more settlers to move there. Yeah. Mexico's leaders offered land in Texas to encourage settlement. Why am I licking my chops on this one? Ethan?
Because they wanted soldiers.
Oh, could be. So you're thinking Mexico wanted soldiers?
Yeah.
That's a possibility. Nikki?
Money?
Maybe they wanted money, and how would more settlers bring money over there?
Like they could buy like more stuff like.
So we can buy from Mexico, the Mexicans, they can buy from us kind of stuff? Okay, so trading too. All right, excellent, good, Bonnie.
When they say the Mexicans offered people land, did they put it for sale, or did they just like give it to people?
Good question. We're probably going to have to look that up. Does offering land mean they just are giving it to us, or are they selling it to us? Ooh, but what's America doing right now? I mean, this is like a real lick your chops opportunity here, thing.
They're moving west, and Mexico is wanting people to go to Texas to invade Americans.
Excellent. Yeah, we are moving west, and hey, Texas is offering us land, so yeah, let's go. Okay, so we have to find out about the Mexican and Spanish War there, and we have to also find out whether Mexico offered us the land for free or if we had to buy it. So those are some questions that we have to answer, because the textbook, although it's okay, doesn't give us a ton of information. Oh, here's a really good paragraph. Are you ready? Americans in Texas. Many of these new settlers were Americans. As more and more Americans arrived in Texas, the Mexican government became worried. Stop me, please. Nikki?
I have a question.
Yes.
About that picture.
Oh, this picture here. Well, we're not to this picture yet. This here?
How come they have an Italian flag up?
Yeah.
Mexican
flag. But hang on, because we're not here. This is the Alamo. We're just not there yet. We're not there yet. Back up. Many of these new settlers were Americans. As more and more Americans arrived in Texas, the American government became worried. Didn't I say that?
No.
What did I say?
You said the American.
It's Monday. But please stop me there, not just to correct me. What's going on here? Why would the Mexican government get worried? Now?
Would be afraid that they would take over all the land.
Oh, yeah.
And not like the American probably thought that they could keep the land and not just like live on the land, like Texas owned the land. The
Yeah.
Mexican government figured out.
So they're getting a little bit worried with us because more and more of us are living there. And, you know, if we're living there, we're just going to assume it belongs to us.
And I have something to say. Well, Mexico was attacked by Spain and Spain won. But today, I don't know any people in Mexico that don't speak Spanish, well, unless they moved from somewhere else. Like Mexicans can only speak Spanish and are taught other languages or are taught English as well.
Many of them are taught English as well, depending on the school. But yes, it's a very strong Spanish influence.
Well, yeah, like
I
Canada
understand how
knows
they
French.
could, when they're presidents and then still speak Spanish.
Well, because of the strong Spanish influence. We'll go back and double check that too. This is all good stuff you guys are bringing up that we need to research. All right, in 1830, it meaning who? Ooh, it also raised taxes on Americans. It refers to Mexico, good. It also raised taxes on Americans already living there. This angered the American settlers. Ooh. And if you get the American settlers angry, what do you think could happen? War, possibly, yeah. So, I'm going to stop right here. Okay, we've talked for about 6.5 minutes. 2 paragraphs, that's as far as we got, and that's because the textbook did not give us a ton of information, and you guys have conjured up a whole bunch of questions. Bonnie, ask the 2 questions that you just asked.
Okay, did Texas have the same borders as it did back then, as it does now? And are the Americans going to burn down the Mexican passes and make them move out like they did to
Excellent. 2 excellent questions. What other questions can we find out here? Sean?
Why does Mexico, why does Mexico still speak Spanish if they broke away from Spain? And I also have a question about Canada too.
The same? Okay.
Yeah,
so
why did
we'll-
they speak French? Because it was,
They don't speak French, only parts of it.
Only
Yeah,
parts of
no,
it does too. But this is part of research. When you guys read and you don't get all the information you want out of whatever you just read, you need to go find out more information from other resources. And that is your job. Natalie, you had a question. Your hand was up.
Oh, I was going to say that, the second question that Bonnie had.
Okay? Okay.
About the Texas border, it probably was different because of the picture of the atlas. It shows the part of Texas and then a little bit added on in the blue part, and but it does show the border, so you can't really know unless they have it written down.
All right, so good point, Natalie. Natalie was looking at the atlas on page 47, and take a look at what Texas looked like back then. Okay, well actually that's 1845 when we annexed them, but that was the border of that Texas land there. All right, Nicole, go ahead. Oh, wait, before you even go, we have a bunch of angry American settlers. That's where we left off because somebody was taxing us. Who was taxing us?
The Mexicans.
Right, and you know, that does not sit well with us. Years ago it was the British taxing us, and now it is the Mexicans taxing the settlers in Texas. All right, go ahead, Nicole.
When General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna sent troops to Texas to enforce Mexican laws, fighting broke out. Santa Anna had made himself dictator of Mexico. A dictator is a leader who has complete control over the country.
Do you have any questions about that? Yeah.
isn't it pronounced Santana?
Santa Ana.
Santa.
Santa, that would be great.
Yay.
Santa Ana, go ahead.
Why?
Could he like just make himself like how can he just make himself like just like say, oh no, he can complete control of the government.
Good question. So how did Santa Anna just make himself a dictator?
Yeah.
Ooh, we're going to find that out. Excellent.
Well, he was a general already, so he might have had like the power because he was in charge of probably their army. So he might have had the power to just like put himself on top if he was like a general.
But if there was already a dictator.
A military coup. He's just going to take over. Ooh, we're going to look that up. Good question. Good idea. Nicole?
But wasn't the like person leading Libya, wasn't he a dictator?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we'd have to look and find out how he became a dictator.
That dictator, no, I think, wasn't there a dictator in Egypt too?
Mm-hmm.
He was voted into office.
Oh, but we'll have to talk about that whole voting system. Let's get back to Mexico right now. All right? Maris. Yes, Mexico and Texas. Sunday.
Well, right now I'm a bit confused because I thought presidents were the leader of the government, so is a dictator kind of like a president?
Yes. He's a leader, but he's a dictator. And what is a dictator?
It's a leader who has complete control of the government.
And what's the difference between a dictator and a president of the United States?
The presidents are.
Whoa! Excuse our interruption, but our balance fell. All right, so we were with Mara and asking about a president and a dictator. But a dictator has complete control of the government, like you said, and the president of the United States, does he have complete control?
No, he kind of makes the decisions for the government, so now that I actually really think about it, I think it's sort of like the dictator rules over the government and the president kind of makes the decisions.
But the president, what he says, is that always going to be what's going to happen? What do we have in place for our government?
They have checks and balances, which means that like before the president decides like something that the Americans have to do, has to go through like the legislative branch and the judicial branch before it like happens.
Right. So there's your difference between a dictator and our president. We've got checks and balances where other parts of our government have to also okay it. Whereas in this case, Santa Anna, whatever he said, that was the way it happened.